What's up, guys? It's Zero here, bringing you all our first episode of Horror Theory. Welcome, everyone, to Horror Theory, the best horror-related show here on YouTube. And we have a ton of stuff to talk about in this episode of the show, so let's get into it. I am joined, guys, by my good friend, Jeff J. the K. 0518. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it has, dude. How you been?
I've been good. I've been more, finally got myself fixed up after getting hurt, but I'm all good now, so I'm back.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Guys, with Horror Theory, we're going to be talking about everything in the world of horror, whether we're talking games, movies, and we're going to give you guys some insight into what it all means. And so our first topic here today, Jeff, that I want to talk about is we just saw the trailer for Chronos. This is the new title from Bloober Team, the company that made Layers of Fears. They did the Silent Hill remake. And I got to tell you, it looks to be a pretty fascinating looking game. We were talking about the main character. We didn't like how his helmet looks.
Yeah, his helmet looked a little weird, but maybe that'll be a thing you can change.
Yeah, something. But
yeah,
what did you think about it?
I liked it, and one thing I've always liked that I'm noticing a lot more nowadays is that people are trying to make their zombies look different, or zombie-like creatures look very different than, like, make them feel more unique. I think the best example of this is Last of Us zombies. I think it's just it just makes you, because you can identify them from like a mile away. It's like, oh, that's a clicker from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
You can just, you already know those things are terrifying.
Oh, they are.
Just the way they sprint at you while flailing the arms because they can't fucking see.
Yeah.
Just like praying that they hit you.
the clickers in The Last of Us are terrifying, and
they really are.
In this
both
one,
the show and the games, they're terrifying.
They are. In Chronos, what I liked about, at least what we've seen so far, is the enemies or the creature designs. It seems like they've got a variety of different kinds of creatures, sizes, with that merge mechanism that even adds more creatures.
That adds more like variety for creatures, not to mention just in general as a harder challenge.
Yeah, I agree. I think the creature design looks really good. It looks like you have a variety of different types of weapons. It gives you those. I love how you saw, like, in the one of the first shots of the trailer, you see it almost looks like some kind of like temple or something, that there was like a rocket that went through it, and the shards or the pieces of rock or cement are like shattered everywhere because it's all like zero gravity. I think some of the shots in it were really cool and fascinating. But anyways, it gives us vibes. We were talking about Dead Space, a little bit of some Resident Evil vibes. I even think that I even got a little bit of some Silent Hill vibes from it as well. It looks like they took inspiration from a number of games, though, to kind of put it together.
That's a good thing. Another thing about the zombies that I'm actually going to point out is it's going to encourage people to think more about leaving corpses, because half the time when people kill things in video games, they just forget about them.
Yeah.
So I got a feeling in the early stage of this game, a lot of those like zombie-like creatures that spawn behind you, they're just going to grab a corpse for free, and people aren't going to think about it.
Yeah. Well, and I was listening to the developer interview from Bloober Team, and they were talking about one of the inspirations for the game was The Thing.
Ooh.
And that's where they got kind of the idea of like the merging mechanism. And so I thought that was really fascinating. And so anyways, like, overall, I'm pretty excited about it. Apparently, it's going to be coming out this year in 2025.
Yeah.
And it's definitely on my list of games to certainly check out.
It's coming out like late 2025?
I'm assuming it's probably going to be, it'll probably be like a Halloween release.
Who knows? It might be a shadow drop. It might come out next month.
That would be fun. That would be crazy. But
We've had a lot of surprises this year as far as gaming.
Yeah, tons. But I definitely think Chronos is going to be, it'll be a horror title to keep your eyes on, especially if people, like, the reviews come out and they're like, everyone's praising it, like, saying it's better than Layers of Fears or The Medium, and like it's a, especially from the guys who did the Silent Hill remake. I think there's a lot of anticipation.
Yeah, it's got good seeds. It's got
Yeah,
good
no,
seeds.
for sure, man. But the question is for all of you guys, what do you guys think about Chronos, the New Dawn? What are your thoughts about it? Let us know in the comment section down below and let us know your thoughts. This next topic that I want to talk about is about probably, I mean, you could argue the biggest horror franchise in the world, at least at this point in time, or at least one of them, probably maybe you could say top 5. Resident Evil is a franchise that, at least to me, yeah, there's been some hits and misses within the franchise, but that happens with any franchise out there.
Yeah, especially for one that's been around as long as Resident Evil.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I think what was the first one on the PS2?
I think it was.
I think it was because I remember playing P2. I remember playing R2 on the PS2.
Yeah. Resident Evil 9 is reportedly Capcom is, I should say it's more rumored than anything, that Resident Evil 9 is going to get announced this year.
That's cool.
Which is awesome.
I'm fine.
Now, the question is where do they go from the events of, I mean, you could say following Biohazard, following Village? Where do you think they should go? Because at least for me, my history, and I'd love to hear your history with Resident Evil, but for me, I really got totally engulfed into the Resident Evil franchise with Resident Evil 5. That the 5th one was my first real like go at Resident Evil. And I gotta tell you, I know a lot of people, there was like mixed reactions to 5. I loved 5. I know there was a lot of people who didn't, they thought some of the mechanics weren't that great. I think you like to run was you held down A or something like that. There was like a few things that people didn't like about it, but I loved Resident Evil 5. Okay. And that's what got me started. Then they brought out Resident Evil 6. I thought it was a massive step in the wrong direction, at least in my opinion. I just didn't like the story as much. I didn't think it was that great. And then we got Biohazard. And Biohazard, that really captured the essence of Resident Evil for me.
That revived, not really revived, but like a breath of fresh air to the series. Not to mention it brought in a bunch of new people.
Yeah.
Brought in me.
It brought in a lot of people.
I played the original Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 2 when it first came out. A buddy of mine at school hooked me up with it. He's like, yeah, you like zombies? I'm like, yeah, I'm into zombies a little bit. And he's like, sure, you can, I'm done with this game. You can have it. I'm like, oh, appreciate it, bro. Thank you a lot. And I had a fun time with it. I'm still terrified of this day to the freaking lickers because they are scary. Like, they got tongues as long as my body.
Yeah.
And they climb on roofs. They got the brain exposed and everything. They're terrifying.
Yeah, I loved Biohazard.
Should have gotten more screen time in the movie. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, 100%. And then we got, obviously you had some remakes in there. Yes. I know a lot of people love the remakes. I
enjoyed the remakes.
Yeah, I wasn't as big of a fan. I don't know. Maybe it was because I wanted
smart starting with RE2 instead of RE1.
Yeah, but I feel like
because a lot of people like Leon and a lot of people like Jill, Claire.
Right.
A lot of people like RE2 more than RE1.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying that they were terrible games. No. I wanted more Biohazard, that kind of style, right? And we didn't get that. We still haven't. I mean, Village, I loved Village.
Village is so good.
Yeah, Village is outstanding, dude. I loved Village.
It was so much fun.
So where does it lead us? What do you think? Where do you think they should go? Do you think they should be more like Village, more like Biohazard, a mixture of both? What do you think?
I think if it is following the story of Village and Biohazard, I think it should be more gameplay focused like those two games. But if it's new people, or better yet, old people like Chris, we have a lot of people that we haven't seen in recent like Biohazard time frame. We've seen Chris.
Yeah.
That is it. I think the use of Ada, I don't think, is Ada still alive? I don't remember. I'll have to look at the lore. But you have Leon, you have Jill, you have Claire, you have Honk, which I would love to see that bastard again. So, do you know about Honk at all?
Like his backstory?
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay, so he used to work for Umbrella. He was their attack dog. If they needed something gone, they called him and his strike team.
Okay.
That was it. And his last mission, which was in RE2, his job was to go find the doctor who stole the virus sample. He failed because he injected him. The scientist injected himself with it, and he sent his whole entire strike team to go run. It's my phone, I think. And in his words, he said, "I failed to get the sample." It's like, "What are you gonna do now?" "I'm gonna go get another new sample." Just grabs his hunting knife, which is a big ass hunting knife, and just goes to try to get the sample back from the doctor. Lives somehow, and then after the fall of Umbrella, becomes a mercenary company. Now, in Umbrella, you know that there's like gene splicing, all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He is all natural. He got through all of that shit without any modifications, any enhancements, just sheer badassery. That is Honk.
Mm-hmm.
He just gets the mission done.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts. He's going to go do it.
Yeah.
And I love that about him.
Do you think that we should play as Chris in 9?
In 9, okay, so you have two options. Either go old character or go with one of the new characters. If you're going with one of the new characters, you're definitely playing as what's his name from both Village and
shit.
The main character. I forget his name.
I can look it up.
It's
yeah.
gonna bug me. Yeah, I'm gonna get some hate for it.
Yeah, no, I'm forgetting too.
But yeah, either you play as his daughter, who is a lot older in the end of Village, so you have an option of playing as her, or throw another curveball, play as him again. Even though I know he dies in the end of Village. Spoiler. The game has been out for 4 years now?
Yeah, it's been out for Ethan.
Yeah. Either you play as Ethan, because in the end of Village is a cutscene where the daughter, I think her name's Hope, is looking at a foggy wall. You see a guy in the background, and it is his player model.
Oh, who, Chris?
No.
Or, I mean,
Ethan.
Ethan, yeah.
It's Ethan's player model. So he could be alive, especially since in Village they kind of explain why the fuck is this guy. That's another thing that people noticed in both Biohazard and Village. How the fuck is this guy so durable?
It's crazy.
He takes so much punishment, like ridiculous amounts.
Maybe he's just a badass, like maybe like Ellie from The Last of Us or some shit.
No, he's just made a mold. That's all he is,
dude.
He's had his leg cut off, his hand cut off twice, been stabbed in the chest, shot, and a bunch of other shit, set on fire. The man walks out of it, just slaps some slurp juice on his arm, reattaches it. All right, it's all good to go.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, dude, you know how we talk about like different franchises like Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed, where we're like, what you're doing isn't working. But with Capcom's Resident Evil, what they are doing is working. Yeah. And so, at least to me, dude, I think you got to continue where the momentum they got from Biohazard to Village.
Yeah.
I just think they got to continue that. Like, don't change up this formula that's working right now. I mean,
well, Capcom's smart.
They are, bro. They're
really smart when it comes to releasing games when they need to be released.
Yeah,
and they're also really good at listening to their players.
Mm-hmm.
So, not to mention, they know when to let a horse die. Is the best way to describe it. They know when to let something die. They, like, for example, Resident Evil, prime example, is they took a shot with making the remakes in between both Village and Biohazard, and a lot of people liked the remakes, because my biggest thing I liked about the remakes is the camera is on the character and not just some fucking corner in the room.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most annoying thing, and I'm happy it's gone.
The only thing with Capcom that just it's hard, that sucks for me is I don't know if you ever played Lost Planet, but man, dude, I loved the Lost Planet games. The first two were great. Third one, it was not as good, and so that's why I think they canceled it. But Lost Planet was really cool. Lost Planet reminded me of like a kid's Gears of War, kind of like just like not really like gory and stuff, you know. But I thought it was great. But I think it was smart for them to just kind of more so focus on Resident Evil, Monster Hunter.
I just had an epiphany about Capcom. Both Resident Evil and Monster Hunter have both done two different things, but they've also done the same thing. So with Resident Evil and Monster Hunter, they have both kept the same gameplay mechanics throughout their entire series. But instead of Monster Hunter upping its graphics every generation, they just keep adding new monsters with a minor upgrade to graphics. However, Resident Evil has done the opposite, where they've more focused on the graphics instead of adding new stuff, which is very weird to see both sides of the same coin and both of them work.
They're crushing it, dude. The only thing is DMC. I just want to see, and with the show,
give me a new game or something. I do not care. The anime is gas.
Yeah, so they were just waiting for Jeff to see the anime, and they're like, okay, now we're greenlighting it.
Give me
DMC 6, bro.
I don't care about DMC 6. Just I know we're getting another season of the show, but I want another DMC game.
Yeah, no, I agree. Me too.
As much as I haven't played DMC 5, my buddy who constantly grinds on me is saying, "Hey, you got to play DMC 5, especially now that the show is coming." I was like, "All right, I've played it. I haven't played through it. It's just, I like the characters. I like the gameplay. It's just not my speed."
Yeah. Well, the question is for you guys, though. What do you guys think about Resident Evil 9? Where do you guys think they should take the story? What do you guys think? Do you think you agree with Jeff and I where they should follow what the successes of Biohazard and Village, or something completely different? Let us know in the comment section down below, and let us know your thoughts.
Another joke about DMC is the reason why Dante always doesn't have his weapons from the previous games because he sells them to make rent.
Wait, in what? In DMC?
In the entire DMC series, anytime Dante gets a new weapon, don't expect him to keep it because he's most likely just going to sell it for his rent. That's the in-game lore for why he doesn't have a lot of his old weapons from the first game, is because he sells them to make rent.
Yeah.
That's it.
Legend, dude.
The only weapons he doesn't sell is the Rebellion and Ebony and Ivory. Those are the only two that he hasn't sold because, for one, the Ebony and Ivory were designed for him, and Rebellion's his dad's sword. He's not selling that. He'll sell his brother's sword. He's done that.
Yeah. Jeff, I want to talk about, something that, you and I, like, we talk off camera all the time about all kinds of different, shit.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to talk about,
That's the
though,
whole reason why we start doing these podcasts.
Oh, I know. There's the whole like inspiration behind this, but
whole backstory of this place.
Yeah. I want to talk about the rise of indie horror games.
Oh, that's very obvious.
I mean, just the absolute, like, when we think of now, there's a lot of games that we indie games that have not seen the light of day yet. I think of like Negative Atmosphere. I think of Routine. I think a lot of games, but there's a lot of horror games within the indie space that have gotten green lights or have come to fruition. And man, dude, with the rise of the rising cost of a lot of games, people are looking to indie games in a pretty major way.
Yeah,
you've talked about like Repo and
Repo being one of the bigger ones. But I think what the two games that come to mind when I think of the start of not indie horror games, but just indie games in general, is Five Nights at Freddy's and Undertale. Those two specifically come to mind when I see like the rise of indie games, because you really didn't see a lot of indie games take off like those did until after those two games were made. Five Nights at Freddy's, I think, pushing a lot of the new horror genre because it was something different. It definitely pushed the jump scare
horror.
No, genre. That's the word I'm looking for.
Oh, genre.
Yeah,
okay.
genre. Definitely the jump scare genre in video games, because I cannot count how many Five Nights at Freddy's clones I've seen on like Flash games. Probably the best one is called Joy of Creation, which was really good because it did the thing with Security Breach where it's open world but also not at the same time, and those animatronics look terrifying.
I didn't see this.
It's pretty good. Like, it's gone through multiple stages. There's literally one where you're running through a maze inside a house and all you can see or hear is the stomping of giant animatronic feet and the glowing red eyes of something chasing you, which was really good, especially since the jump scare was them screaming in your face and then punching you. Pretty sure one of them was punching you, which was kind of funny. But yeah, that's a good.
Well, I think I'm with you that FNAF really kind of started this, especially for the horror genre, the indie game, for horror titles.
And then like I think recently you had Lethal Company.
Yeah, Lethal Company, Repo.
Lethal Company and Repo. Like, not to mention those two games specifically are modded out the fucking hell. Like, they are ridiculously modded. Like, one of my favorite ones is called Control Company, where the host of the game is allowed to spawn in and control creatures in the facilities and areas. They can let the AI control them, like them basically just makes them act like how they do, or they can just straight up take control as much as they want.
That's interesting.
Not to mention that mod is very mod friendly because you can start playing as some of the modded creatures too. Any of them.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And then Repo in general is just funny to play and funny to like, and because it's less focused on the scare factor as far as Lethal Company, because there have been many, because the thing is with Lethal Company, there's no music, which is already a good point to make for horror, and there's rarely any sounds that these creatures make, but unless you're like right next to them. You have everyone's favorite, the loot bug, which is, there's a mod for it that just makes it yell yippee instead of the normal nose. It's like yippee because they like stealing shit. But I think the one creature that I know everybody knows about that's terrifying is the Bracken. It is dead silent until you see it, and they move very quickly, very quietly, sneak up behind your buddy, snap his neck, pull him away without making a fucking sound. And then like you can just picture two guys walking together. All of a sudden, the guy up front turns around, his buddy's gone without any sound, without anything. And he's just gone. You either get lucky and see his body getting pulled away around the corner, or you just see nothing. And don't even get me started when the power goes out, because that shit's pitch black.
I love this.
And you see a pair of white eyes in the distance, like, what's that? Oh, I should look away. And then as soon as you turn around, your neck's gone. And then you have the weeping angels of that game, the spring heads or whatever. They're very fast. They don't make any noise until like they're rapidly moving, and the only way you can stop them is by looking at them. And if you don't look at them, they get behind you and turn your head into a spring. Yeah, they're terrifying. Then you have Repo. Repo is more funny because
yeah, it's goofy, dude.
It's so fucking goofy.
Yeah.
Because I think the main thing that makes it goofy is the playable characters are goofy little robots.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know. It's fold in on themselves.
Yeah, it's definitely a goofier, style game. Now, I will say
my favorite meme is the singing one. I'm pretty sure you've seen it.
The singing one?
I love.
Oh yeah.
Like
oh
that,
yeah. Oh dude,
so
yeah. There's
funny.
They've been made like YouTube shorts out of it. They've done all kinds of stuff.
That meme has taken off.
Oh yeah.
Anytime I see anything about Repo, there's something about that. I've seen people make like very good custom animations for it. Or like there was one where it was the robot, but he was forgotten, so he's covered in moss. At the very end of the animation, you see him power down forever, which is really sad. Like he's just sitting in a corner, squatting, singing that song, and then you see the light in his eyes disappear, and he's just gone.
Oh shit!
I was like, bro, he was just trying to sing. Someone go get your boy.
Well, one of the things for me, dude, was, like Five Nights at Freddy's, for example. I love this as an indie horror game. And
because every kid at like the age of 6 has had nightmares about Chuck E. Cheese animatronics.
Nightmares. And like that, it kind of leads me into like,
especially when these things are freaking, I don't know, 10 feet tall. They're so big for no reason. Why would any kid like those things?
That, dude? But they were terrifying in the games, and then the movie, I just thought,
they're funny.
It's more funny. It's not.
Funny.
I mean, I wanted a R-rated Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
I think that's what they were going for, but I think they didn't have the
They
The
didn't want
budget.
it. Well, I don't think they wanted to do it because they wanted it to be more like everybody could watch it. And from a business
Well, I
perspective,
honestly
they
think
made so much off of
I
the
don't-
first one.
yeah. Plus, not to mention, I don't think they could have gotten it approved because at the end of the day, it is based off a kids game.
Yeah.
That's the thing that a lot of people that are kind of iffy about FNAF is that it is a kids game, but with very dark background.
Yeah.
Because if you really look into it and you really do some deep diving, I'll be honest, FNAF is what really got me into like deep diving into game lore. Because
That's
it's just,
cool.
it's everywhere in FNAF. Like just every little nook and cranny. Excuse me.
Has some kind of like
Has something.
some story.
Like in the first game, there's like a poster that's talking about a news article about 5 missing kids. That's where like that lore starts from. It's literally starts from a little newspaper or poster in one of the back rooms of like the office area. And it's just like a little detail that's just everywhere. FNAF in general is just littered with tiny little details.
I love that, dude. Love it.
Even in Security Breach, which is like arguably like not the most well favorited out of the FNAF games, even that one has lore everywhere. You just gotta look for it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm excited
For
to
the second movie?
Well, yeah, of course. I'm excited for the second movie. I'm more excited about another game.
Yeah. No, have you seen the trailer for it?
I did.
It looks good. And it
Oh,
really
wait a minute. Wait. The new FNAF game?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
It's called like
wasn't it
Mimic?
like they brought a teaser out like
Yeah.
a while back, right?
No, there's a recent one.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, it's something to do like it's something called like Into the Mimic or something.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
whole thing about that game is that you were hired by like some contracting company to go retrieve assets that was being researched at this facility. And they bring up like, oh, this thing's called the Mimic. And the base thing, what it was designed for is that you can put any suit on it, and it would act like that character. Because like apparently from the mechanics wise of the animatronics is like each endoskeleton has its own unique coding for that specific character. The Mimic was just supposed to be a universal one.
Yeah. Secret of the Mimic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no way. It comes out in June.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it
June,
came out.
June 13th.
I didn't know it come out June 13th this year.
Sweet.
That's gonna be good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, guys, let us know what you think about the rise of indie games, indie horror games specifically. What do you guys think about? What are the games that you guys are playing right now? What are you excited about? Are you excited about the new Five Nights at Freddy's? Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and let us know your thoughts. All right. So with this next one, Jeff, oh, man, let me just get this. Let me get my shirt kind of like down here a little bit so everybody can see it or whatever.
Show off your love.
Yeah. So, obviously, guys, I've been a massive Gears of War fan. Gears of War E-Day is going to be coming out. We're thinking it's going to come out in 2026, probably Halloween 2026. But what we do know is coming out this summer is what is called Gears of War Reloaded. And we're talking about this.
Come see Gears of War Reloaded.
You can come into Zero Dark, play this. You can do some horde mode with Jeff will be the support, and we will.
I will always be the support.
The support, brother. No, but
any game, I will be there to help you. Except Marvel Rivals, fix this problem, people.
Gears of War Reloaded is a remaster of Gears of War 1. And what I love about the original like Gears of War titles was there was a lot of like significant, it was a horror shooter, right? Had a lot of tons of horror elements to it. Gears of War 1, we're going back to where this thing originally started. I have some criticisms about some of like the cover art, the way it looks. I don't think it looks as good as it did back in 06, like the way they make Marcus look and stuff.
Was that when the original one came out, 06?
Yeah, it was 06.
Damn, 06 had a lot of good shit in it.
Tons, dude. And so anyways, with Gears of War Reloaded, it's coming out, going to have co-op campaign, which is awesome. And then it's going to also have multiplayer. So they're not, it doesn't sound like they're doing co-op. At least they haven't announced a co-op mode. Comes out summer, August of this year. So it'll be coming out shortly after the Xbox Summer Game Showcase. The big news though,
when is that, by the way?
I believe it's in June.
June, okay.
Yeah. So what the big news though, Jeff, is Gears of War is now going multi-console.
Yeah, it's going cross-platform.
Which is going to...
Is it going to be on PC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so what's so huge about this with Gears is now this is going to open up an entire new wave of people getting an opportunity to play it for the first time. And I think that it's going to be massive for just Gears of War as a franchise moving forward. But I also think it somewhat breaks the console wars a little bit, because now you have a game that is going to be on PlayStation, and now it's like, okay, PlayStation, now it's your turn. Give us God of War, give us Last of Us, give us. I don't know if they're, I have no idea what they're going to do.
God of War I can see, but they're not giving us Last of Us.
I don't think they'll do the Last of Us, but I mean, who knows? What I think they're doing is like a truce.
They should give us Days Gone. That would be a good idea. Oh, wait. No, y'all just going to make a remake for a game that's not even 6 years old.
Yeah, a remaster. Isn't it a remaster?
No, it's a remake.
Yeah.
Just a remake for the PS5.
Yeah. So anyways.
Because they're not smart and they don't do backwards compatible for PlayStation for some reason.
I think
that's like the big thing that I always liked about Xbox over PlayStation, is that I can play my 360 games on my Xbox.
Yeah.
And I don't need to put it on my Xbox internal storage. I can put it on my external.
Right.
Like if I wanted to, I can go get my Arkham Batman game disc and just plug it into my Xbox and it'll work.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about anything. I would have to download it, but that's not a problem when I have like 5 terabytes of storage. Yes, I do.
Are you going to lock in with me with some Gears of War Reloaded? It's going to be coming day one on Xbox Game Pass, which will be awesome.
I will gladly play that with you.
I think what you and I should do though is we should do
co-op stream,
co-op campaign.
Yeah, our co-op stream.
Co-op campaign stream.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome. Because have you played Gears of War 1?
I have not played Gears 1. I have. I've only played. When you get to play as the next generation of Gears play?
Was it JD Phoenix you played as, or was it Kate Diaz?
It was both. I think it was Kate Diaz.
Kate Diaz. So that was Gears 5. That was the last one that came out.
Yes, I have played. Oh, no.
Oh yeah, we played Gears 5 together.
No, I'm talking.
A little bit,
I played Gears 4 then.
Okay, so with JD.
Yes,
I got you.
I played Gears 4. Because I remember the final boss, you use a helicopter blade.
Oh yeah.
That one I played.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Gears of War 1, man, it's going to take. It was such a throwback, dude.
So with Gears of War getting a remake and it being one of the most iconic Xbox games ever made, this also could be a cool thing. And personally, I would like to experience it. Is they make Halo 1 remastered.
Well, they did the Halo Master Chief Collection.
No, I'm talking like just straight remastered.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No, well, and I was just about to bring this up. Do you think that they're going to make like Halo on PlayStation as well now, like cross-platform?
Halo Infinite is.
What, is on PlayStation?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Whenever the whole talk with Gears came coming over to PlayStation as well.
So Halo Infinite now is going on PlayStation.
Yes, I believe it's on PlayStation as digital. You can't buy it because it didn't. I don't think it had PlayStation accessibility when Halo Infinite came out. I was thinking it was like when they were talking about sharing games and stuff with Gears and Halo. I'm pretty sure Halo is available digitally on Pleystation.
No way.
I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah,
I'm
guys,
pretty sure it
don't
is.
kill Jeff in the comments if we're wrong about this.
I'm looking at you, my dumbass friend who's watching this. Don't you grill me later. I know you will, but don't do it.
But I do think it's opening the door for, this Xbox exclusive. It's like the console wars. This might come. Maybe this is like their truce almost.
I think the console wars ends when Xbox and Steam become best friends.
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's an
and that's the other thing. Gears of War Reloaded is going to be on Steam. It's going to be on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like when I heard that whole debacle with Xbox and Steam, I was like, this will end the console wars. I know a lot of people say that, but that will generally end the console wars because I'm pretty sure any PlayStation exclusive is available on Steam.
Yeah.
Except I think God of War's on there. Except old ones. Like any new PlayStation exclusive is also on Steam.
Do you think it's reasonable to expect? Do you think that Gears of War Reloaded being on PlayStation is kind of a sign of what's to come, or do you think they're testing it to see how it does? And then, because they haven't announced Gears of War E-Day being on PlayStation. They've announced it being Gears of War E-Day will be a day one Xbox Game Pass title.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't said exclusive,
but
but
just like day one on Game Pass.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the thing
so
is,
I'm wondering if they're going to do that.
Most likely, I guarantee, considering like how much Gears is like ingrained into Xbox's history, I totally see it coming out day one on console for Xbox Game Pass 100%. Same thing with like when Black Ops 6 came out. It just makes the most amount of sense. That blew me for a loop when I saw that, actually, when Black Ops 6 was going to be on Game Pass day one. I was surprised about that.
I was hyped about that.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, so you for once.
So Xbox really did just buy Activision.
They really just that was their one way to like really put a runner up on PlayStation is they started buying all the
everything.
Stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I think that's why. I think that's how Halo Infinite got to freaking PlayStation is because Sony owns 343. No, they own Bungie. They own
Bungie, but Bungie didn't do Halo Infinite. 343 did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I know what you mean. Yeah, so
that's what I loved about Destiny. It was only on Xbox and PC.
You and I, brother, we're gonna be dude. I'm excited to play Gears of War Reloaded. It's only a couple of months away. What do you guys think though about Gears of War Reloaded, guys, being no longer a console exclusive? What do you guys think this means for the future? And are you guys excited about Gears of War Reloaded? Let us know in the comment section down below and let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. This next one, let's change gears here. Let's talk a little bit about some movies here.
Yeah, okay.
All right. One of the I would say one of my I've got a lot of favorite horror movies and stuff, but one of the franchises I have absolutely loved, and I know a lot of people, they're like, every time they even think of they hear the name, they start cringing because of the nightmares it gave people years upon years ago. Final Destination. This is a franchise that has don't drive behind a log truck, don't drive on a bridge if there's too many people. It created a cultural like phenomenon. It was like Jaws. Don't go in the water. Like after people saw Jaws, people did not want to go in the water. Final Destination did something kind of similar to that.
That's why to these days I'm probably never going to see those movies because I know how my mind works. I'm not going to watch those movies.
They are terrifying in a different way. But what I love about Final Destination is a lot of people just think it's like kind of like the Saw movies. It's just like this torture porn. But there's actually there is a story behind Saw. There's a story behind Final Destination, and it is fascinating. Now, yes, some of the deaths are very hard to watch, and I'm hearing a lot about Final Destination Bloodlines right now.
I saw the trailer in theaters, and I was like, this is just bad luck central, and I don't want to be a part of it.
Dude, but I'm hearing that some of the kills in Final Destination Bloodlines are grotesque.
The trailer that I watched, you literally see a freaking lawnmower fall on a guy's face.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do not hold back in these movies.
That's fair. That's one thing I have noticed in recent movies, especially R-rated movies. A lot of them are not holding back anymore in the gore. Even like a movie recently, Novocaine. That one was good.
I didn't see that.
Because I loved it because they really set in stone, this guy does not feel pain. They really did just kept reminding the entire audience, yeah, this guy doesn't feel pain. In one scene where he's trying to get information out of this guy, he gets his ass handed to him, gets his shoved into a mirror. And as he's getting up, he's slamming his hands on the broken glass of the mirror and gets like these really glassed up knuckles and he uses them in a fight. I'm like, if I saw that as that guy, I'd be like, who the fuck did I just throw through a window?
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. But I think like you're saying, they are like a lot of these movies now they're not holding back. Like I think about
because laws have changed as far as like FDA regulations.
I don't know what it is. I mean, we Alyssa and we just saw Havoc with Tom Hardy, and it's from the guy who made I forget his name. He's the one who made like The Raid and The Raid 2. My God, dude, was it like nonstop action, but they did not hold back. And I'm seeing trailers for movies like Weapons, which is about these kids that go missing. Man, dude, that looks absolutely terrifying. The new Conjuring just got announced, the new trailer just came out. The Conjuring Last Rites.
You got Megan coming out this year too.
Megan 2.0.
That's also very scary because that's a very real thing that could happen.
Right. Well, and see, I think that's part of the realism of Final Destination. It's like, dude, this actually could happen. And that's why it's like absolutely terrifying to think about. Yeah. And so, anyways, Final Destination Bloodlines, I'm super excited about it. Are you going to go see it?
No. Fastest no, I'm not seeing it,
dude. Let's go. Let's go watch it together. Yo, get yourself a date. I'll get Alyssa. We'll all go on like a double date, dude. Oh, bro, that would be such a good double date, bro. Everybody's got their hands in their eyes, like, dude, don't step on that. Oh God, they just stepped through a fucking rusted nail. He falls backwards, gets splattered by a lawnmower. Oh, bro. No. Yeah, death has a design for sure in those movies.
Speaking of horror movies, the new Predator.
Oh. Now, there's been a lot of backlash about that, the way he looks. I don't give a shit, dude.
I don't care. I like how he looks, and I like how they're showing less mask. Because I think that was the coolest. It was a
he's a grunt. He's like just starting. It's like he's a young
but
Predator.
It's also a good excuse to not show his mask and actually show off the facial stuff, because back in the day, we didn't have green screens and shit. We had props, we had masks, we had full-on suits. Now we got the good shit. We got green screens. We got CGI, because it's actually good nowadays and not just a blobby mess that it used to be.
And they're setting up AVP.
Yes. I would love to see a modern version of Alien vs. Predator.
Part of me is really excited about Killer of Killers, though. I think that's going to be really sick.
Okay.
The animated Predator or whatever.
Okay, so what was the recent Alien movie? Not
Romulus?
Yeah. Did you know that the really tall, lengthy white alien in that movie was actually a real guy in a suit?
Yeah.
When I found that out,
dude, he was a basketball player.
I know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When I found that out, I was like, there's no fucking way. And then I see a clip of him chilling on set with a cup of coffee. I'm like, there is no fucking way you found a real human being that fucking tall to fit in one of those suits.
Dude, yeah, that was crazy. You know, did you see Romulus?
No, I didn't.
Because I was going to say the main girl in that, when I was watching, I saw Romulus in theaters, and I was as I'm watching her perform, and just the way she was acting and stuff, I'm like, I looked over at Alyssa and I said, that girl should have been Ellie in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
The show.
The live action
because
show.
I know a lot of the Bella Ramsey, the one who plays Ellie in The Last of Us. I'm not saying she's a bad actress, but I do think she was miscast. Yeah. The girl in Romulus, dude, I'm like, dude, that's Joel. Ellie. She's right there, bro.
They did a good job with Joel, to be honest.
Oh, hell yeah, they did, dude.
And
Pedro.
Now he's Mr. Fantastic.
Now he's Mr. Fantastic, and now there's no more Joel. He's no more.
Yeah,
but
which is a shame.
It's a shame,
fine.
And The Last of Us might not ever. We might not get another game, which is like sad things.
But I also really hope they don't do what they did when Last of Us 2 came out and just bash the fucking actor who plays Abby, because that was very fucking wrong what they did when the second game came out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no,
that was very wrong.
Well, she's the Abby in the show. She's not as miscast, in my opinion, as Ellie is.
Yeah,
like, I mean, the girl who plays Abby, she looks a lot more like Abby in the game. The only difference is she looks a lot thinner.
Good.
Like, she doesn't look as beefy.
That was one of my bigger problems in The Last of Us Part 2 is they made Abby look like a fucking gorilla.
She was.
She just seemed overly buff, and I'm like, why the fuck? And I remember playing through this game. I remember playing through this fucking game, and I was like, why is she so buff. I get that this is an apocalypse that's been going on for years, but she doesn't need to be built like a fucking linebacker.
That's funny.
And I remember playing because my mom likes the games. She likes the story for them.
Really?
Yeah, she loves the Last of Us story. She actually watched me play Last of Us.
I would think your mom would be like terrified of the just the way that the gameplay is and stuff, because Alyssa has a hard time playing the game.
No, my mom.
No, that's cool.
My mom doesn't mind gore. She doesn't mind horror. She loves horror movies.
That's sweet, dude.
But yeah, she even said too, she's like, why is she so buff?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, but just tone it down just a smidgen. I don't mind fit women. Just tone that down. You don't need to be a freaking gorilla or a linebacker. You don't want to try out for the Redskins.
Well, the question is for all of you guys, what do you guys think about Final Destination Bloodlines? We are very close to this movie actually coming out. Are you guys going to check it out? Let us know in the comment section down below and let us know your thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, not to mention Sinners did really well too.
Sinners, yeah, for sure, dude.
Not to mention, like, considering how good that movie did, they actually gave it another week of runtime, which the only movie I can think of that was that good that they gave it another week of runtime, I think was Maverick. Because Maverick came out and they let that shit play for a month.
You mean Top Gun?
Top Gun Maverick. They let that shit play for like a month. Like every time I was looking, cause I watch movies a lot. Like I go to see a lot of movies. Like anytime like I'm off on my days off, I would just like browse through. Oh, let's see what's playing in this theater. And for like a straight month, it was Top Gun Maverick.
Dude, there's nothing like going to the movies to see a movie.
Oh hell yeah.
Period.
I still think to this day, if you want to watch a movie and it's a movie series you're very excited for example, I'm a big fan of the Monsterverse series. I love those movies. I think they're great, and I cannot wait for the third one, the third Godzilla versus King Kong. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to see that in a theater. I'm not going to go watch it on my phone off of Amazon Prime. I'm going to go see it in a theater, just like how I'm going to go see the How to Train Your Dragon movie. Because, for one, I've seen how it looks. It looks gas so far.
It looks great.
I'm definitely going to go see that in a theater because, for one, I love the series, and it's just me a good movie experience. As much as streaming keeps getting better, you're never going to top a movie theater.
No, you won't. I mean, just the atmosphere.
The quality and atmosphere, you're never going to top a movie theater unless you have a home theater. And at that point, you don't fucking care because you make enough money.
1000%, dude.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of movies, another one. Well, I'm going to kind of tie this in with a game. Okay. So we saw a trailer, Jeff, you and I, Directive 8040. Wait, what the fuck was that name
it's
of
like
it?
8013 or something.
8020.
8020.
Directive 8020 from the makers of Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human, and like a bunch of other games.
The Quarry.
Quarry. Yep.
Those games in general.
Well, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Before you go there,
Yeah.
Until Dawn.
Yes.
Okay, the movie comes out.
Yes.
And mixed reaction to it.
I know you've seen it. Was it good?
No, I didn't see it yet.
Oh, I thought you saw it.
No, I haven't seen it yet. Now, there was mixed reaction to it, but then I found out that the director, producers went to the makers of Until Dawn and Directive 8020.
And they basically just asked for their scrapped ideas, which I thought was actually very cool.
It was awesome, right? They were saying, like, what were some ideas that you guys thought if you ever made a sequel to Until Dawn? What were some things you guys were thinking about?
Scrapped ideas.
Yeah. Right. And, well, I don't know if they're going to make an Until Dawn 2. I have no idea.
I would love for them
would you? Yeah, what would you think about that?
I would love for them to make it Until Dawn 2, but instead of making it about Wendigos and all the other stuff, make it about a different mythical creature. Or not mythical creature, like myth creature, like Bigfoot or a Yeti.
Yeah.
Or just something that's just like wrapped in myth, like the Loch Ness Monster, a Chupacabra, shit like that, Mothman. Just like stuff like that. That would be really cool to like make it under like a series instead of just making, Until Dawn 2, or you can just say Until Dawn something.
Yeah.
Just like Until Dawn Forest, or you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. And like, even though I haven't seen Until Dawn the movie, and I know you haven't either, the way I look at it is, I'm gonna judge the movie based on what. Well, I'm gonna judge it based on like when I watch it, then I'll judge it. A lot of people are kind of already saying like, oh, well, it's not like the game. Well, if you put it in context, it's like, well, yeah, but these guys also did go to the creators of Until Dawn, and we're trying to take things that maybe weren't they didn't want it to be a copy and paste of the game. I don't know if it makes it worse or better or whatever, but when I watch it, I'll judge it from that perspective. It's like if someone tries to give me an opinion about Assassin's Creed or Monster Hunter or something, and they've never played the game.
I can't. I refuse.
How am I going to listen to you? You know what I mean?
To take anybody seriously who's never experienced it before.
I'm not going to listen to somebody
who makes an opinion of something that they haven't watched yet.
They haven't watched yet.
That's why I don't
or
trust
played or whatever.
That's why I don't like IGN.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly, dude.
I'll watch the trailers because they usually get like exclusive info and exclusive trailers, but I refuse to read any of their ratings.
100%. No, I'm with you, dude. So anyways, Directive 8020, interesting name. I know it's different, but anyways, regardless, the trailer itself definitely gives Callisto Protocol and Dead Space vibes. And like you were mentioning, it looks like Detroit Become Human. Yeah. And it makes sense.
With those games specifically, like Detroit Become Human, The Quarry,
I didn't realize that they were all in like the Dark Pictures, like it's an anthology.
Yeah, it's
and Until Dawn.
Those games, Until Dawn especially. Those 3 games especially, Until Dawn, Detroit Become Human, and The Quarry. They could be movies. It feel like, especially when I was playing through the Quarry.
Until Dawn is.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Speaking of that, I'll bring up another point after I'm done with my rant. Those those games specifically feel like movies, and especially the Quarry, because it has such a cool feature that I wish other games did like it, where you can go back and watch your playthrough like a movie. And I think that's such a cool, tiny feature that's so good. And not to mention, once you beat the game, it will allow you to watch a playthrough of a no-kill run or an all-death run. Like, basically, it would show you the story is if all the playable characters died, because in, like, Until Dawn, you swap through multiple people. And you can save them, or they die. And it will show you where everybody could die or where everybody was living. Because it was very cool because they tricked me with this. There's one QuickTime event that you want to fail so someone lives. Because in one instance, you're in
are we talking the Quarry still?
Yes, the Quarry.
Okay.
In the Quarry, there's a QuickTime event where if you pass, a character dies. Not the character you're playing, but a NPC character. If you fail, they both live, which was such a cool thing to figure out.
No way.
Because like there's one scene where this character's trying to grab, because you go into this house, you have a gun because you're in a hunting lodge. There's a gun everywhere. This one person sneaks up behind you, tries to grab the gun, and if you use the QuickTime event, the gun goes off and that person dies.
Yeah. No way, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, that's cool. In terms of it being, I think it's really, especially if Directive 8020, if they knock it out of the park, I think it's going to get people to go back to some of these other anthology games.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about even like the casting of Frank Stone, The Quarry.
Game. If you're a DVD nerd, play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, I'm going to say this about Until Dawn. Since they grabbed ideas from the people who made the game, I wouldn't be surprised if they made an Until Dawn game that's based off the movie.
Which one?
Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Like, if they made a game based off the movie, I would not be surprised if that like resurfaced in like a year or two.
Yeah. I would actually, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, I want to watch the movie first to see, and then once after doing that, like
the only thing I hope that the movie has that's in the games is the butterfly system. If you've seen Until Dawn's butterfly system,
yeah,
where like they'll find totems and it'll like give them a glimpse into the future of like an event that's going to happen in the game.
Yeah,
and I really hope that's a thing that carries on into the movie because that was such a nice little feature.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because it would either be a warning or like it would show you someone's death or just something or like a hidden object somewhere It was a nice little feature.
It looks cool with Directive 8020 where it's like the creature or whatever takes the form of other. Yeah, it mimics other people.
It's a mimic. And mimics in any genre game are fucking terrifying. Or like, I guess the best way to compare it to is a skinwalker.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
skinwalker thing is terrifying.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That was like one of my scariest features in the Outlast trials. Having a skinwalker wandering around.
Oh,
there's
my God.
there's a skinwalker mod in Lethal Company that will copy your in-game, like if you hot mic in Lethal Company, it will echo throughout the facility and all that type of stuff. If you have that mod on, the skinwalker will take those audio cues and make the monsters sound like you. Which is terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
Because you can say something like, "Oh, help," and it will cut that audio, attach it to a creature, and that creature will make that noise. And your buddy, he's gonna want to help you, and then he dies.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, definitely some interesting. Graphically, it looks great. I'm excited about it. What do you guys think, though? What do you think about Directive 8020? Are you excited about it? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section down below. And I'm excited to see what you guys got cooking up for us down there. And with that being said, everyone, I want to say thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Horror Theory. Jeff, how can people find you, brother?
They could find me on Twitch at jthek0518. That is jthek all full 0518. And I'll probably be playing. Probably after this, go play either some Overwatch, some Monster Hunter, or hop on Ark again, start that series up again just to get that rolling and see how that goes through.
Awesome.
And also in July, you'll find me at a live video game, not really video game concert, but more like just video game and anime inspired concert called NPC. I will definitely be there. It's in Dallas, Texas. Go get your tickets now. They're on sale for $20.
Sweet, dude. No, that's awesome.
Not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, no, not sponsored yet.
No, I would love to be sponsored by those guys because they're actually cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of Horror Theory. If you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, just keep grinding. And as always, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.
Later, brothers.